In coming to the policy decision, the bank considered relevant global, regional, and domestic economic factors as follows. On the global front, the IMF marginally reviewed up its growth forecast for 2023 to 3% from 2.8% forecasted in April. Whilst the forecast for 2024 remained unchanged at 3%, tighter monetary policy conditions continue to weigh down on global growth prospects. Advanced economies are forecasted to grow by 1.5% from 1.3% in 2023 and 1.4% in 2024, whilst emerging markets and developing economies are expected to grow by 4% from 3.9% in 2023 and 4.1% in 2024. Global inflation is forecasted lower at 6.8% from 7% for 2023, whilst the forecast for 2024 was marginally revised up to 5.2% from 4.9%. Risks to the outlook remain elevated and persistent. They include the possibility of the expected El Nino drought and the Russia-Ukraine war, which could intensify, hence further raising food and fuel prices. On the regional front, the South African economy grew by 0.6% quarter-on-quarter in the second quarter of 2023, after a 0.4% growth in the first quarter. The South African Reserve Bank marginally revised up its growth forecast for 2023 to 0.7% from 0.4% forecasted in July, whilst the forecast for 2024 was left unchanged at 1%. South Africa inflation increased marginally to 4.8% in August 2023 from 4.7% in July 2023. The SARB revised down its inflation forecast for 2023 to 5.9% from 6% in July. The SARB maintained the repo rate at 8.25% in September 2023. On the domestic front, gross domestic product grew by 0.5% in 2022 compared to a growth of 10.7% in 2021. On a quarterly basis, GDP grew by a slower 1.1% year-on-year, seasonally adjusted in the first quarter of 2023, down from a revised growth of 6.7% in the quarter of 2022. The slight growth observed in the first quarter was attributed to positive performance in the primary and tertiary sector. The economy is forecasted to grow by 4.7% in 2023 and 4.9% in 2024. The country's headline consumer inflation decelerated to 4.0% in August 2023 from 4.5% in the previous month. The country's headline consumer inflation decelerated to 4.0% in August from 4.5% the previous month. Decreases were observed in price indices for food and non-alcoholic beverages, which decreased from 13% in July 2023 to 10.7% in August 2023. Transport, which fell from minus 2.4% in July 2023 to minus 2.7%, and health, which decreased from 1.1% in July to 0.8%. The decreases were mainly counteracted by increases in the price indices for clothing and footwear, which increased to 6% in August from 5.2% the previous month. Furnishing and household equipment, which grew from 6.5% in July to 7.2% in August 2023. The bank revised down its inflation forecast to 4.93% from 5.55% for 2023 and 4.68% from 5.36% for 2024. Risks to the inflation outlook include supply chain disruption due to the Russia-Ukraine oil prices, uncertainty, and the possibility of a drier weather conditions which will affect food production in Eswatini. Credit extended to the private sector grew by 0.8% month-on-month in July 2023 and 9.7% year-on-year to reach 18.3 billion. However, credit extended to the household stood at 8.1 billion at the end of July 2023, depicting a marginal month-on-month decline of 0.3%. The non-performing loans ratio for the industry currently stands at 7.3%. As at 15 September 2023, gross official reserves stood at 8.6 billion, an equivalent to an import cover of 2.7 months. Preliminary figures show that total debt, public debt, grew by 5.1% to 33.3 billion in August 2023 from 31.7 billion in July 2023, translating to 41% of GDP. On the basis of the above and other related factors, the bank has decided to maintain the discount rate at 7.5%. The bank will continue to monitor international, regional, and domestic developments that influence the movements of inflation and will act appropriately in line with its mission to foster price and financial stability that is conducive to the economic development and growth of Eswatini. I thank you.